Hello there, and welcome to the Curious Mind Sleep Channel. Tonight, we're exploring the most relaxing nature facts to gently guide you into sleep. Facts about ancient forests, about trees that breathe with you, about the living networks beneath your feet. I am the forest, and I'm going to share my secrets with you. Here's the first fact. For 300,000 years, your species slept in forests like me. Your body still remembers this. Research shows that just 20 minutes in a forest can lower cortisol levels by 13%. Tonight, you return to that ancient rest. Step from concrete onto moss in your mind. Feel the difference beneath your feet. You're safe here. Close your eyes anytime. I hold you while you sleep, just as I've held sleeping creatures for millions of years. Over the next 2 hours, you'll discover how trees communicate through underground networks, how old-growth forests create their own weather, why certain nature sounds trigger sleep responses in your brain. Each fact designed to ease you into rest. Let your thoughts soften like snow falling on water. There's no need to hold on to anything right now. Some listeners will hear the entire journey. Others will rest long before we reach the stars. Both are exactly right. I'm so glad you found your way here. Let's begin this gentle journey, one sleepy soul at a time. Picture yourself standing at the edge of an old-growth forest just before sunrise. The world holds its breath in that particular stillness that comes right before dawn breaks. Look up. See how the canopy creates layers of darkness and gradual light. The tallest trees, 200 feet above you, catch the first hints of coming dawn. Their uppermost leaves glow faintly with pre-dawn blue. Below them, layer after layer of branches create a ceiling of shadows. And down here, where you stand, darkness still pools like water. The air temperature at this hour sits around 55 degrees Fahrenheit, cool enough that you'd want a light jacket. And here's something remarkable. Scientists studying circadian biology discovered that this specific temperature range, between 54 and 58 degrees, triggers a neurological response in mammals. Your ancestors evolved to recognize this temperature as the safe moment between night predators going to sleep and day predators waking up. The forest temperature itself is a signal. Safety, beginning. Rest transitioning to gentle waking. Now, watch. The first true rays of sunlight begin to filter through the canopy. It happens gradually, then suddenly. One moment, the forest floor rests in shadow. The next, thin beams of golden green light slice through the layers of leaves above. These beams aren't the harsh white light of midday. They're softer. Filtered through millions of leaves, the light takes on the color of life itself. Green gold, alive. This light has traveled 93 million miles from the sun, 8 minutes and 20 seconds at the speed of light. Then, in its final moments, it passes through the forest canopy, through maple leaves and oak leaves, through pine needles and birch. Each leaf absorbs the red and blue wavelengths, letting the green pass through. This is why forest light feels different on your skin. It's been transformed by living things. Breathe in. That scent in the cool morning air, that's partly the forest breathing out. Trees have been producing oxygen all night long, even in darkness. The air you're breathing right now contains oxygen molecules that were created inside the leaves above you just hours ago. Some of those molecules might have been part of carbon dioxide you exhaled yesterday. The forest takes your breath and gives it back, renewed. As the light strengthens, You begin to see details. The forest floor isn't bare. It's covered in layers. First, a carpet of fallen leaves from last autumn. Some are still intact, brown and curled. Others have begun to break down, becoming lace. Beneath them, older leaves, barely recognizable. And beneath those, the transformation continues until leaf becomes soil. This process takes years. Patient, gentle, inevitable. Between the leaves, moss grows. It glows almost luminescent in the dawn light, so green it seems impossible. Touch it, just in your mind. Moss feels nothing like leaves. It's soft beyond soft, like touching a cloud, if clouds were green and grew on fallen logs. This particular moss, cushion moss maybe, has been growing on this log for decades. It grows so slowly. A centimeter a year, perhaps. Time moves differently for moss. Now listen. Before the birds begin, there's another sound. The wind. But it sounds different at different heights in the forest. Up in the canopy, 150 feet above, the wind moves through with a sound almost like water. Lighter, more fluid. The leaves up there are newer, more flexible. They dance and whisper. Come down 50 feet. Here, the wind sounds deeper. The leaves are older, larger. They rustle rather than whisper. There's more body to the sound. Down here on the forest floor, the wind barely touches you. It's been slowed by all those layers of leaves. What reaches you is just a gentle breath. Cool, carrying the scent of earth and growth. The temperature begins to shift. You might feel it on your face first. The coolness starts to lift. Not quickly. Nothing in the forest happens quickly. But somewhere between 55 and 58 degrees, your skin registers. Warmth is coming. Day is beginning. It's a reminder that change comes, even in the quietest places, even when you rest. And now, the first bird. It's a robin, almost certainly. Robins are nearly always first. Scientists still debate why. Some think their eyes contain more rod cells, allowing them to see better in low light. Others believe it's behavioral, passed down through millions of years of evolution. But there, hear it? A single note, then another. The robin is checking in, saying, I'm here. I made it through the night. The day begins. For a few moments, the robin sings alone. Its song is cheerful but not rushed, melodic. 3 to 5 seconds of singing, then silence, then singing again. In those silent moments, the robin listens, waiting for others. Now here's something astonishing. Researchers at Cornell Lab of Ornithology recorded dawn chorus and analyzed the acoustic patterns. They discovered the birds' songs match the mathematical structure of human brain waves during deep meditation. Theta waves. The frequency range between 4 and 8 hertz. The birds have been singing sleep music for millions of years, and your brain recognizes this pattern, responds to it, begins to synchronize with it. The forest is waking up around you. You're welcome to close your eyes. Now, if you haven't already, just listen. Let the sounds wash over you like warm water. There's no need to identify every bird, no need to remember their names. Simply rest in the growing music. A second bird joins. This might be a song thrush. Its voice is different from the robin, more complex. The thrush repeats each phrase twice, singing, then singing the same pattern again, as if making sure you heard correctly. The notes are pure and clear, flute-like. Now, a third voice. Could be a warbler. Warblers sing at higher frequencies, quick, bright notes that cascade like water over stones. The sound fills spaces between the lower voices of robin and thrush. More birds join, one by one, then in small groups. The dawn chorus is building. Studies show that in forests around the world, This happens every morning. Birds synchronizing their songs with the rising sun, as if the forest itself conducts them. A blue tit adds its voice, then a finch, then another robin farther away, then closer birds you might not name. Each voice distinct, each bird singing from its own territory, its own branch, its own piece of forest. Yet, together, they create something larger than individual songs. They create a chorus. Why do they sing? Biologists point to territories, to attracting mates, to announcing survival of the night. All true, but there might be something else too. Maybe they sing because the day begins, and singing is what living things do when darkness lifts. The volume grows, not to a roar. The forest never roars, but to a fullness, a completeness. The sound fills the space between earth and canopy. It fills the air you breathe. If you could see sound, the forest would be glowing with it right now. Close your eyes. Let the bird song hold you. Notice how some birds sing high, some low, how some sing in short bursts, others in longer flowing phrases, how some voices come from directly above, others from your left, your right, behind you. You're surrounded by singing, held in it. This is one of those moments that makes people cry, sometimes. Not from sadness, from recognition, from some deep part of the brain that remembers this, that knows this is what mornings are supposed to sound like. This is what home sounds like, if home is the wild world that made us. The light continues to strengthen. With more light comes more singing. The two rise together, light and sound intertwined. This happens on a precise schedule, governed by the sun's position below the horizon. When the sun sits about 6 degrees below the horizon, robins begin. At 4 degrees below, thrushes join. At 2 degrees, the full chorus erupts. The birds are reading light levels we can't even perceive. Let your breathing slow. Match it to the rhythm of a nearby bird. In and out. Not rushed. Natural. Easy. The bird doesn't struggle to sing. It simply sings. You don't need to struggle to breathe. Simply breathe. Rest in me, says the forest. I've been holding morning chorus for thousands of years. You're safe in this sound, gradually, so gradually. You might not notice at first. The chorus begins to shift. Not quieter yet, but changing. The urgency fades. The territorial announcements have been made. Now the birds begin their day's work, finding food, building nests, living. The singing becomes more sporadic, still beautiful, but no longer synchronized. This is natural. This is right. Morning chorus doesn't last all day. It peaks, then softens, then transforms into the sounds of day. Just as your alertness doesn't need to last all night. It can peak, then soften, then transform into sleep. It's a reminder that everything has its season, its moment. It's time to rest. In a small clearing about 30 feet ahead, something moves. A white-tailed deer steps delicately from between 2 birch trees. She's a doe, medium-sized, her coat the russet brown of summer. She doesn't know you're watching, or she knows and doesn't mind. It's hard to say with deer. They exist in a state of awareness we can barely comprehend. Watch her, just in your mind. Study how she moves. Each step is deliberate. Front right hoof, then back left. Front left, then back right. The pattern is precise, economical. She wastes no movement, places each hoof carefully, testing the ground before committing her weight. This is how you survive in the forest. This is what 40 million years of evolution looks like. Her ears swivel independently. Right ear turned back, listening behind her. Left ear forward, monitoring the clearing. Her ears move constantly, like small radar dishes, gathering sound from every direction. She hears things you'll never hear. The movement of beetles in bark, the sound of sap rising in trees, the ultrasonic calls of bats still returning to their roosts. Now she stops, perfectly still. Only her ears move. Researchers studying deer behavior have discovered they can remain motionless for surprising lengths of time. 5 minutes? 10. Barely breathing. Becoming part of the forest. Not hiding exactly. Simply being still. In this stillness, she's absolutely present. Not worried about yesterday. Not planning tomorrow. Simply here. Now. Alert but calm. Scientists call this state relaxed vigilance. The deer has mastered what meditation teachers spend careers trying to teach. Be here now. Be aware. But don't struggle with awareness. Let it be easy. Here's something that changed how biologists understand deer. Recent studies using heart rate monitors and observational data discovered that deer don't just hear individual sounds. They read the forest's collective emotional state. Every bird call carries information about safety or danger. Every rustling leaf, every change in wind. The deer processes all of this simultaneously, understanding the forest's mood. When the forest is calm, she's calm. When one creature startles, the information ripples through the ecosystem. She reads emotions she didn't create. The forest talks, and she understands. Watch her breathe. Her flanks rise and fall, slowly, steadily. 4 breaths per minute, maybe. 5. Each breath deep and full. Her whole body breathes, not just her chest, her belly, her sides, her back. Everything moves with each breath. This is how mammals are designed to breathe. How you're designed to breathe when you let yourself. She lowers her head to the forest floor, begins to browse. She's eating chickweed, could be, or clover. Her movements are unhurried. She has all the time in the world, chewing slowly, occasionally lifting her head to listen, then returning to eating. This is her meditation. This total immersion in the simple act of being alive. A blue jay calls out, sharp and sudden. The deer's head comes up instantly, ears forward, body tense, every muscle ready. She evaluates, listens, watches. Time passes. 20 seconds maybe. 30. Then, having decided there's no threat, she returns to browsing. The tension releases, like water draining away. This is an important lesson. The deer doesn't stay alarmed. She doesn't catastrophize. She doesn't lie awake all night replaying the blue jay's call. She assesses, responds, then returns to peace. The worry comes, does its job, then leaves, like clouds passing through sky. This is how worry is supposed to work. Brief, functional, then gone. The sun has climbed higher now. A beam of light finds the deer. Her coat glows, each hair distinct and beautiful. The light shows colors you couldn't see before. Not just brown, hints of gold, russet, gray. Each hair has bands of color, like tiny rainbows. The light reveals complexity, hidden in what seemed simple. She's been in this clearing 5 minutes, maybe. 7. But time feels different when you watch a deer. It stretches, becomes elastic. You could watch for an hour and feel like minutes passed. Or watch for minutes and feel like you've seen a whole life unfold. The deer exists outside human time, in deer time, which is just another way of saying, in the present. Now she raises her head one final time, looks directly at where you imagine yourself standing. Does she see you? Hard to say. Deer vision works differently than yours. They see movement better than detail. They see in the ultraviolet range, seeing patterns on flowers that you'll never perceive. What does the world look like to a deer? What does your face look like? You'll never know. She holds your gaze, just for a moment. Then, with that same deliberate grace, she turns, steps back through the birches, moves into deeper forest, and she's gone. As if she was never there, as if she was a thought that visited, then moved on. But you're different now. Something has shifted. The deer taught you presence, taught you stillness, taught you that worry can come and go without destroying peace, taught you that the present moment, this moment, is the only one that requires your attention. Thank you, dear. Thank you for the teaching. Thank you for sharing this morning. This forest, this life. The forest around you pulses with activity now, not frantic activity, forest activity, which means patient, persistent, purposeful. High in an oak tree, a squirrel scolds. Its chittering call carries across the clearing. Squirrels are the forest's alarm system. They notice everything and announce everything. This one might have seen a fox, or another squirrel, or simply decided the morning requires scolding. Squirrels don't need reasons. They live with an intensity that's almost comical. All that energy packed into a creature weighing less than a pound. Lower in the trees, smaller movements catch your attention. A downy woodpecker works its way up a birch trunk. Tap, tap, tap. Pause. Tap, tap, tap. The sound is sharp but not loud. The woodpecker is looking for insects hiding in bark crevices. Studies of woodpecker anatomy revealed that its tongue wraps around its skull when not in use. This prevents brain damage from all that pecking. Nature solves problems with elegant strangeness. On a nearby log, mushrooms cluster. They appeared overnight, seemingly, though in truth, they've been growing underground for weeks or months. The part you see, the mushroom itself, is just the fruiting body, like an apple on a tree. Below ground, mycelium, an underground network of microscopic fungal threads, has been spreading through the forest floor. These networks can be enormous. One fungal network in Oregon covers 2,384 acres. That single organism might be thousands of years old. The mushrooms you're looking at could be honey mushrooms, Armillaria malea. Their caps are golden brown, sticky when wet. They grow in dense clusters, each mushroom touching its neighbors. If you could smell them, you'd notice something sweet, almost like honey, which is how they got their name. But don't eat them. Some people can digest them, others can't. The mushroom doesn't care either way. It exists to spread spores, to reproduce, to continue the ancient work of breaking down dead wood and returning it to soil. A spider web stretches between two ferns. Morning dew has collected on every strand, transforming the web into a necklace of tiny jewels. Each drop catches light, bends it, throws tiny rainbows. The spider who made this web worked all night. She can't see the beauty she's created. She doesn't know about rainbows. She knows only hunger and the vibrations of prey touching silk. Yet she's made something beautiful anyway. It's a reminder that beauty doesn't require intention. Sometimes, beauty is just the side effect of living. Ants travel along a fallen log in a perfect line. They move with purpose, each carrying something. A piece of leaf, a seed, a dead insect. The line extends from somewhere you can't see to somewhere else you can't see. It might stretch 50 feet, 100 feet. The ants don't know the full journey. Each ant knows only, follow the one in front, Carry your burden. Trust the trail. It's enough. They'll get where they're going. All of this is happening simultaneously. The squirrel scolding, the woodpecker tapping, the mushrooms releasing microscopic spores into air, the spider waiting in her web, the ants marching, and thousands of other small dramas you can't see. Beetles tunneling in bark, salamanders hunting under logs, seeds germinating in soil, bacteria transforming death into nutrients. The forest is alive, not metaphorically, literally alive, breathing, growing, dying, being born, all at once, all the time. You're part of this. Your breath mingles with the air the trees produce. Your body is made of atoms that were once in trees, in soil, in rain. You're not separate from the forest. You're a temporarily organized collection of forest materials, learning to be conscious of forest. Then someday, you'll return those materials. It's a long loan, not a permanent possession. Nothing to fear in that. Just a fact. Simple, natural, true. Rest in this activity. Let it surround you like warm water. You don't need to do anything. The forest doesn't require your participation. It doesn't need your help or your understanding. It simply continues. Patient, persistent, alive, and you're welcome to rest in the middle of it all. One sleepy soul at a time. The morning activity continues around you. But now, something shifts. The sun climbs higher. The forest temperature rises from cool to comfortable. And we're about to discover something remarkable. Something happening right now in every leaf above you. An exchange so intimate, so essential, that your life depends on it every single moment. The forest breathes. And so do you. Let's discover how deeply connected that breathing really is. The sun has climbed higher. Morning has become day. The temperature has risen to something comfortable. 68 degrees, maybe. 70. The kind of warmth that makes you want to lie down in a patch of sun and simply rest. Look up at the leaves above you. Thousands of them. Millions, if you could count the whole forest. Each leaf, right now, at this very moment, is performing something scientists call the most important chemical reaction on Earth. Photosynthesis. Here's what's happening. Sunlight strikes a leaf. Inside that leaf, in structures called chloroplasts, the light energy gets captured. The leaf takes carbon dioxide from the air. It takes water from the ground, pumped up through the tree's vascular system. Then, using the energy from sunlight, it combines these ingredients and creates glucose. Sugar, food, energy, life. The byproduct of this reaction is oxygen. The leaf doesn't need the oxygen, so it releases it, breathes it out into the air. That breath you just took, some portion of it is oxygen that was created by the leaves above you just moments ago. You breathe in what trees breathe out. Trees breathe in what you breathe out. You're in an exchange, an intimate relationship, breathing together. Research estimates that one large tree produces enough oxygen for 2 people for a year. Think about that. One tree, supporting 2 human lives, not asking anything in return, not demanding payment or gratitude, just quietly, patiently, making oxygen, day after day, season after season, for decades, for centuries. Some trees have been doing this for thousands of years. The maple tree in front of you might be 150 years old. It's been producing oxygen since before your grandparents were born. It was making oxygen during World War I, during the Great Depression, during every war, every peace, every human joy and sorrow of the last century and a half. Just standing here, breathing out, patient as stone, alive as fire. And it's not just oxygen. The tree is also pulling carbon dioxide out of the air. Carbon dioxide, which in excess contributes to climate change, gets absorbed by leaves. The carbon gets locked up in wood, in trunk, in branches, in roots. This maple tree is made of air, essentially, made of carbon that used to be in the atmosphere. The tree is solid air, ancient breath transformed into wood. It's remarkable when you think about it. Almost impossible, yet completely ordinary, happening everywhere, all the time. Close your eyes, breathe deeply. Fill your lungs with the air the forest provides. Notice how the oxygen travels into your bloodstream, how it gets carried to every cell in your body, your brain cells, your heart cells, the cells in your fingertips and your toes, all of them receiving oxygen that might have been created by the tree above you just moments ago. Hold your breath gently, not straining, just holding. Feel the carbon dioxide building in your lungs. This carbon dioxide, which your body creates as it burns fuel, as it lives, needs to leave. Now breathe out, release it. That carbon dioxide rises up, disperses into air, and some of it eventually will be absorbed by a leaf somewhere, will be transformed into wood, into life, into more oxygen. The cycle continues, breath after breath, tree after tree, life supporting life. You are part of this exchange, not a visitor to it, not an observer, a participant. Right now, this moment, you are breathing with the forest. The forest is breathing with you. You're synchronized, connected. One living system, temporarily divided into tree-shaped parts and human-shaped parts, but ultimately the same, made of the same atoms, breathing the same breath. It's a reminder that loneliness is partly illusion. You're never truly alone. You're always in relationship with the living world, always connected, always held. Scientists who study trees have discovered something else. Trees don't just produce oxygen randomly. They respond to their environment. On hot days, they produce more. On cold days, less. When attacked by insects, they change the chemistry of their leaves. When one tree gets sick, neighboring trees sometimes send nutrients through underground fungal networks. Trees take care of each other, take care of the forest, take care of you, though they don't know you exist. Rest in this knowledge. You are supported by systems you didn't create and can't control. Systems that have been working for hundreds of millions of years. The trees will keep making oxygen whether you worry or not. Whether you stay awake or fall asleep. Whether you succeed or fail at human tasks. The forest continues. Patient, persistent, breathing. And you're welcome to simply rest in that breath. Settle into it. Let the forest hold you with every breath. We breathe as one, beneath your feet, beneath the leaf litter and the moss and the visible forest floor. Another forest exists, a mirror forest, underground. Tree roots extend outward from every tree trunk, not just down, but sideways, spreading, searching. The roots of the maple tree nearest, you might extend 30 feet in every direction, 40 maybe. They interweave with the roots of neighboring trees, oak roots tangling with birch roots, pine roots crossing maple roots. It's a dense network down there, a mat of living tissue, pulling water and minerals from soil. But the roots don't work alone. They can't, actually. Trees need help accessing certain nutrients. That's where fungi come in. Remember those mushrooms we saw earlier? The fruiting bodies of a vast underground network? These fungal networks called mycorrhizal networks, connect to tree roots. The fungal strands, thinner than human hair, wrap around or penetrate root cells. The relationship is ancient. It evolved hundreds of millions of years ago, before flowers, before grass, before most things you recognize as plants. Here's how it works. The fungi are better at accessing nutrients from soil than tree roots are. Fungal strands can penetrate tiny spaces, dissolve rock minerals, unlock nutrients that roots alone could never reach. The fungi gather these nutrients, then trade them to the tree. In exchange, the tree provides sugar. Remember photosynthesis? The tree makes more sugar than it needs. It shares that surplus with the fungi. Each helps the other. Each needs the other. Neither could thrive in the forest alone. But it's more complex than a simple two-way trade. The fungal networks don't just connect to one tree, they connect to many. Most trees in this forest are linked underground by these networks. Biologists call it the wood wide web. A mycorrhizal network can connect dozens of trees, sometimes hundreds. Old trees, young trees, different species, all linked, all sharing resources through fungal intermediaries. And here's where it gets truly astonishing. Studies published in the journal Nature discovered that these networks aren't passive. Trees use them to communicate, to share resources intentionally. When a tree gets attacked by insects, it can send chemical signals through the mycorrhizal network. Warning signals. Nearby trees receive these signals and begin producing defensive chemicals in their leaves, preparing for the attack before it arrives. The forest is warning itself, taking care of itself, collectively. Old trees, which researchers call mother trees, appear to play special roles. These ancient trees, with their extensive root systems and vast mycorrhizal connections, act like hubs. They're connected to more trees than younger ones, and research suggests they share resources preferentially with their own offspring. A mother tree can recognize its seedlings somehow and send them extra nutrients through the fungal network, helping them survive in the shadows until they can reach sunlight. The forest takes care of its young. Scientists studying these networks have found even more surprising things. When a tree is dying, it sometimes sends its remaining nutrients outward through the network, sharing its life force with neighbors before it falls. It's a kind of generosity that doesn't fit easily into competitive evolutionary narratives. Yet it happens. Trees giving, trees sharing, trees connected in ways that blur the line between individual and community. Sit with this knowledge for a moment. The forest floor you're sitting on is crisscrossed with invisible connections, information flowing, resources moving. The trees around you are in constant communication. They're not silent, isolated pillars. They're networked, social, taking care of each other in the quiet darkness underground. It's happening right now, beneath you, whether you notice or not. This changes how you might think about forests. They're not collections of individual trees competing for space and light. They're communities, ecosystems, almost like single organisms, with many parts working together. The boundaries between individual trees are less clear than they appear. Where does one tree end and another begin when their roots interweave and their fungal networks merge? It's a reminder that separation is often illusion. Connection is the deeper truth. You too are connected in ways you can't see. To other people, to other living things, to the earth that supports you, to the air you breathe, to the water you drink. The boundaries of your skin seem clear, but they're permeable, porous. You're part of systems that extend far beyond your body, part of networks that predate you and will continue after you. Just like these trees, connected, supported, never truly alone. Rest in that. Let the underground forest remind you of invisible support. It's a reminder that help exists even when you can't see it. That connection persists even in darkness. That you're held by networks you didn't create and barely understand, but that work anyway. Patient, persistent, below the surface. And speaking of deep time, of patience beyond human comprehension, we're about to meet the oldest living witnesses on Earth. Trees that were already ancient when Christ was born, when Buddha taught, when the pyramids rose. They're still here, still growing, still holding secrets about time itself. Come meet them. Let's wander, in your mind, to a different place. Higher in elevation, drier, rockier, where the forest thins out and gives way to mountains. Here, in the White Mountains of California, grow some of the oldest living things on Earth. Bristlecone pines. They don't look like the trees in the forest you've been visiting. Bristlecones are gnarled, twisted. Most of their trunks are dead wood, sculpted by wind and time into smooth, bone-white curves. Only thin strips of living bark remain, spiraling up the trunk, carrying water and nutrients to a handful of living branches. The trees look ancient because they are ancient. Some of them have been alive for over 4,000 years. 4,000 years. Let that sink in. These trees were already hundreds of years old when the pyramids were built. They were mature trees when bronze gave way to iron. They were producing cones and seeds when Homer was composing the Iliad, when Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree. When Christ walked in Galilee, the tree was already old. The Roman Empire rose and fell, and the tree stood. The Dark Ages came and went. The Renaissance, the Industrial Revolution, World Wars, moon landings, the Internet. The tree stood through all of it, growing, slowly, patiently, adding one ring per year. Sometimes rings so thin you need a microscope to see them. Years of drought, years of cold, preserved in wood. A living record of climate stretching back millennia. Researchers study these trees carefully. They take core samples without killing the tree, like extracting a straw of wood from trunk. In those cores, they can read history. Wide rings mean good years, plenty of water. Narrow rings mean hard years, drought, cold. The pattern of rings tells stories of volcanic eruptions that cooled the planet, of medieval warm periods, of droughts that toppled civilizations. The tree remembers what we've forgotten, holds it in its body, patient witness to deep time. The oldest known bristlecone pine is called Methuselah. Scientists know exactly where it grows, but they don't reveal the location to protect it. Methuselah has been alive for 4,153 years. Think about that. 4,153 years of seasons, of storms, of stillness, of growth, of simply being. That tree has experienced nearly 5,000 winters, 5,000 springs. It's still alive, still growing, still producing seeds, not quickly, not showily, but persistently, patiently, the way ancient things do. How does a tree live so long? Biologists have studied this question. Part of the answer is location. Bristlecones grow in harsh places, high elevation, rocky soil, not much water, not much competition. These conditions create slow growth, and slow growth, it turns out, promotes longevity. The wood is incredibly dense, resinous, resistant to insects, disease, rot. The tree doesn't waste energy on fast growth. It conserves, persists, waits. Another part of the answer is sectored architecture. If one part of the tree dies, the rest can continue. The tree doesn't give up. It adapts, survives with less. A bristlecone can lose 90% of its living tissue and still survive, still grow, still produce seeds. It's resilient in ways that seem almost impossible, but it's not impossible. It's simply what persistence looks like on a timescale longer than human lives. Imagine standing next to Methuselah. Imagine touching its bark, knowing your hand is touching something that was already ancient when Christ was born, already old when Buddha taught. The bark feels smooth in dead sections, textured in living sections. The tree doesn't care that you're touching it, doesn't notice your brief presence. Your entire life, from birth to death, is less than 2% of this tree's life. You're a flutter, a moment. The tree endures. This perspective shift is important. Your worries, which feel enormous right now, are tiny when measured against this tree's timeline. That deadline at work? The tree has outlived thousands of empires. That relationship struggle? The tree has survived droughts lasting decades. That fear about the future? The tree has persisted through ice ages, not by fighting, not by struggling, by simply continuing, 1 year at a time, one ring at a time, patient beyond human comprehension. This isn't meant to minimize your concerns. Your life matters. Your feelings are real. But when you rest against deep time like this, when you let yourself imagine timescales measured in millennia rather than days, perspective arrives. Maybe. Peace comes. Could be. Not by solving problems, but by recognizing that you're part of something vaster than your current moment. Part of a pattern of persistence that's been working for billions of years. Life continuing, adapting, surviving, flourishing. You're part of that pattern, that long, patient unfolding. It's a reminder that you don't have to rush, don't have to solve everything tonight. The pattern continues whether you worry or rest. Resting might be wiser. The bristlecone doesn't hurry, doesn't panic, doesn't lie awake wondering if it's doing enough. It simply grows when conditions allow, waits when they don't, releases seeds and trusts some will sprout, lives through hard times and good times with equal patience. And that's enough. That's more than enough. That's how you get to 4,153 years. By trusting the process, by continuing, by resting when rest is needed, 1 day at a time, 1 season at a time, patient, persistent, alive. Thank you, ancient tree. Thank you for the teaching. Thank you for showing us what patience looks like when it's given thousands of years to work. We rest in your shadow, grateful, held by your example. Return now to the forest. It's midday. The sun is directly overhead, though you can't see it through the canopy. The light that reaches the forest floor is dappled, shifting, playing across leaves and bark in patterns that change with every breath of wind. Close your eyes. Just listen. The soundscape of the forest at midday is different from dawn. The urgent morning chorus has faded. Birds still sing, but more sporadically, more casually. They've done their territorial announcing. They've found their mates. Now they simply live, forage, rest, sing when the mood strikes. No pressure, no schedule, just being. You hear a woodpecker somewhere to your left. The sound is rhythmic. Tap, 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 tap. Pause. Tap, 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 tap. Pause. The pattern continues. Studies of woodpecker drumming reveal it's more complex than it seems. Different species drum at different rates. A downy woodpecker drums about 15 times per second. A pileated woodpecker, much larger, drums slower but louder. This sound, whatever species it is, has traveled through the forest to reach you, bouncing off tree trunks, scattering through leaves, arriving transformed but recognizable. Insects add their voices, a buzzing, hard to locate. It might be a bumblebee, working its way through wildflowers in a small clearing, or a fly, or any of thousands of other flying insects that make forests their home. The sound is constant but not annoying. It's part of the texture, the fabric of forest sound, like the hum of existence itself. Life buzzing, moving, continuing. Wind moves through the canopy. This sound, more than any other, defines the forest experience. It's not a constant whoosh. It rises and falls, crescendos and diminuendos, like music without notes. Pure texture, pure feeling. The wind might gust for 3 seconds, then fade, then return stronger, then gentle. There's no predicting it. You can only receive it. Let it wash over you. Let it remind you that movement is natural. Change is constant. Nothing stays the same, not even for a moment. And that's okay. That's how life works. Listen closer. Beneath the obvious sounds, subtler ones emerge. The creak of wood. Trees swaying in wind don't bend silently. The trunks flex. The wood fibers compress and release. This creates sound, deep sound, infrasonic mostly, below the range of human hearing. But sometimes you catch the edge of it. A groan, a sigh, the forest breathing, moving, alive in ways you don't usually notice. Leaves rustling. This sound is so common you might not even register it. But listen now. Really listen. Each species of tree creates a slightly different rustle. Maple leaves are broad and flexible. They flutter. Aspen leaves are nearly round and attached by thin, flat stems. They quake. They tremble. The sound is distinctive, shimmering. Oak leaves are thicker, more leathery. Their rustle is deeper, more substantial. If you knew trees well enough, you could identify them by sound alone, by the specific quality of their rustling. The forest has a vocabulary made of whispers. A chipmunk calls out. The sound is sharp, alarmed. The chipmunk has seen something. A hawk could be, or a cat, or just another chipmunk in its territory. The call carries across the forest floor, warning others. Then silence. The chipmunk has hidden, or the threat has passed, or the chipmunk decided it overreacted. Life continues. Water sounds. Even if you can't see water, you might hear it. If there's a stream nearby, even a small one, the sound reaches you. Bubbling, trickling. The specific sound depends on what the water is flowing over. Smooth stones create one sound, rough rocks another, fallen logs another. Water is endlessly creative in the sounds it makes. Patient sculptor of stone and earth, singing about its work. And beneath it all, under every other sound, there's silence. Not total silence. The forest is never totally silent, but spaces between sounds, gaps, pauses. These silences are important. They're not empty. They're full of potential, full of the next sound waiting to arrive, full of your own breathing, your own heartbeat if you're quiet enough to hear it. The silence holds everything. It's a reminder that rest isn't nothing. Rest is the space in which everything else happens. Rest is necessary, valuable, sacred even. Let the forest sounds wash over you. Let the silence between sounds hold you. You don't need to do anything with this experience. Don't need to remember it or analyze it. Simply rest in it. One sleepy soul at a time, held by sound and silence. Breathing together, look up, way up, Understanding the forest's layers helps you understand your own, because just like the forest organizes itself from ground to sky, from darkness to light, your consciousness has layers too. Surface thoughts, deeper feelings, buried memories, ancient instincts. Let's explore the forest's architecture and discover something about your own. The forest canopy creates layers, distinct zones of life, each layer its own world, each with its own residents, its own rules, its own secrets. At the very top, 150 to 200 feet above you, the emergent layer. These are the tallest trees, the ones that push through the main canopy and stand alone, exposed to full sun and wind. Hawks hunt from here, eagles nest. The trees that reach this height are the survivors, the strongest, the luckiest. They've outlasted their neighbors in the race for light. Below the emergent layer, the main canopy. This is where most of the forest's leaves live, where most photosynthesis happens, where most of the oxygen you're breathing gets created. The canopy is dense, a mat of overlapping leaves. From below, it looks solid, impenetrable. But if you could climb up there, you'd discover it's full of spaces, gaps, highways and pathways and secret routes known to squirrels and birds and insects. The canopy is a three-dimensional maze, a world unto itself. Biologists who study canopies use special equipment, ropes and harnesses, towers, even hot air balloons and construction cranes. They've discovered the canopy life is astonishingly rich. More species live in the canopy than on the forest floor. Insects especially. Beetles and ants and spiders and creatures with no common names. They live their entire lives in the canopy, born up there, living, eating, reproducing, dying, never touching ground. The canopy is a continent floating in the air, solid ground for creatures who've evolved to live in leaves. Birds, of course, dominate the canopy, each species claiming its own niche. Warblers hunt small insects among the outermost twigs. Their tiny bodies can perch on branches that wouldn't support larger birds. Tanagers prefer the middle canopy, where branches are sturdier. Woodpeckers climb trunks and large limbs, listening for insects in bark. Each bird has its own strategy, its own layer, its own piece of the vertical world. Come down to the understory. This layer sits between canopy and forest floor. Young trees grow here, waiting for their chance, waiting for an old tree to fall and create a gap in the canopy, a chance at light. These young trees might wait decades. Some wait a century. Patient, persistent, growing slowly in the shade, conserving energy, ready to leap upward when opportunity arrives. Studies show that these understory trees are often connected to older trees through those mycorrhizal networks we talked about. The old trees share nutrients. Keep the young ones alive. Give them a chance to wait, to be ready. The forest takes care of its children. Shrubs occupy the understory too. Rhododendrons, azaleas, mountain laurel. These plants have adapted to low light. Their leaves are often dark green, packed with chlorophyll, maximizing photosynthesis in the dim conditions. They'll never reach the canopy. They don't try. They've evolved for shade, perfected it. They thrive where trees would struggle. It's a reminder that success takes many forms. Not everyone needs to be tallest. Some excel in shadows. And finally, the forest floor, where you stand. Barely 1% of the sunlight that strikes the top of the canopy reaches down here. 1%. The rest has been absorbed or scattered by all those layers of leaves. What arrives is transformed, green-tinted, soft, beautiful, and it's enough. Ferns grow here, mosses, fungi, salamanders hunt, worms tunnel through soil. Life thrives in near darkness, because life always finds a way, always adapts, always persists, even in the deepest shadows. This vertical structure, these layers, create what ecologists call habitat complexity. Lots of different spaces, lots of different niches, and habitat complexity allows biodiversity. More species can coexist when there are more ways to make a living. The forest's vertical structure isn't random. It's the result of billions of years of evolution, of species finding their own spaces, their own strategies, their own ways of capturing the light and water and nutrients they need to survive. Like the forest with its many layers, you have surface and depth, sunlight and shadow, parts that reach toward light, parts that rest in darkness, and all of it, every layer, is resting tonight. No layer needs to stay alert. The surface thoughts can quiet. The deep feelings can settle. All can sleep. Trust the structure. Trust the layers. Rest. The sun is lowering. It's late afternoon now, moving toward evening. This morning, we watched dawn light filter through the canopy, that green-gold glow. Now, as evening comes, the light transforms again. The cycle continues. The forest teaching us about change, about inevitable transitions, about the beauty of letting go. The light changes quality, becomes golden, warm. This hour before sunset, photographers call it golden hour, the magic hour, when everything looks beautiful, when even ordinary scenes glow. The light comes in at a low angle now, nearly horizontal. It streams through the forest in long, visible beams. You can see the light itself, not just what it illuminates, but the light as substance, as visible presence. This is because the air is full of tiny particles, pollen, dust, water droplets, spores. The light scatters off these particles, making the beams visible. Solid-looking pillars of gold connecting earth to canopy. Colors intensify. The bark of trees, which looked brown earlier, now glows copper. Russet, burnt orange. The green of leaves becomes emerald, jewel-toned. The forest is putting on a show. Not intentionally. The forest doesn't know about beauty. But the physics of light at this angle, filtered through atmosphere, scattered by particles, creates something humans have recognized as beautiful for as long as humans have had eyes to see. Here's something remarkable. That golden light you're seeing right now, it traveled 93 million miles to be here, 8 minutes at the speed of light. Then, in its final moments, it slowed down, got filtered through leaves, scattered by particles. What you're seeing is light that's been transformed by its journey, changed by what it passed through. Just like you're being transformed by yours, by the experiences that filter you, by the particles of memory and hope that scatter your days into colors you never expected. Watch in your mind as a beam of sunlight moves across the forest floor. The earth is rotating, carrying you with it, changing your position relative to the sun. The beam slides across moss, illuminates a patch of ferns, touches a fallen log, then continues, moving with patience beyond human comprehension. The beam doesn't hurry, doesn't pause, simply continues its inevitable arc across the forest floor. In an hour, it will be gone. This exact light, this exact angle, this exact moment will never happen again. Unique, unrepeatable. Like every moment if you pay attention. Birds become active again, not in the frenzy of dawn chorus, but purposefully. They're feeding before dark, building up reserves for the night. A thrush hops across the forest floor, turning over leaves, looking for insects, finding them, eating. The bird is focused, intent, but not anxious. It knows what it's doing, has done it every evening for months, for years, could be. The routine comforts, provides, sustains. The air temperature begins to shift, imperceptibly at first, then noticeably. The warmth of day is fading, not rapidly, but steadily, inevitably. In an hour or two, you'll need that jacket you discarded at midday. But for now, the temperature is perfect. That sweet spot between warm and cool, between day and night, between activity and rest. The transition zone, the threshold. Insects change their patterns. Daytime insects are settling, finding their resting places, preparing for night. And evening insects are emerging. Mosquitoes, yes, but also moths, click beetles, fireflies getting ready for their display, though they won't light up for another hour yet. The evening shift is beginning. The day shift is ending. The forest operates on schedules you barely notice, precise, reliable, ancient. The quality of sound changes too. Bird calls become more spaced out, more occasional. The daytime buzz of insects fades. A different sound emerges. Harder to describe. It's not quite silence. It's the sound of the forest settling, of life slowing down, of preparation for darkness. If you listen very carefully, you might hear bats emerging, their high-frequency calls at the very edge of human hearing, more felt than heard. The night hunters are waking up. This is one of the most beautiful hours in the forest, maybe. Not because anything dramatic happens, but because everything is in transition, balanced between states. Day releasing its hold, night not yet arrived. The in-between time, the liminal space. And in that space, there's a particular quality of peace, of letting go, of releasing. The day doesn't fight against its ending, doesn't struggle or resist. It simply fades, softens, transforms, becomes night. You can learn from this. Your day, too, can end gently. You don't have to fight against tiredness. Don't have to resist sleep. Don't have to struggle to stay awake, to be productive, to do just one more thing. You can release. You can soften. You can transform from awake into sleeping with the same natural grace that day becomes night. It's okay. It's time. The golden hour teaches this. Let go. Rest is coming. Welcome it. It's a reminder that endings aren't failures. They're transformations. Day doesn't fail when it becomes night. It succeeds. It completes. And then it rests, trusting that morning will come. Trust that for yourself. Rest. Let go. Transform. Settle. Settle into the golden hour, into the soft light, into the peace of transition. From light into darkness, from wake into sleep. Natural. Beautiful. Right. This is one of the most beautiful hours in the forest, maybe. Not because anything dramatic happens, but because everything is in transition, balanced between states, day releasing its hold, night not yet arrived, the in-between time, the liminal space. And in that space, there's a particular quality of peace, of letting go, of releasing. The day doesn't fight against its ending, doesn't struggle or resist. It simply fades, softens, transforms, becomes night. You can learn from this. Your day, too, can end gently. You don't have to fight against tiredness. Don't have to resist sleep. Don't have to struggle to stay awake, to be productive, to do just one more thing. You can release. You can soften. You can transform from awake into sleeping with the same natural grace that day becomes night. It's okay. It's time. The golden hour teaches this. Let go. Rest is coming. Welcome it. It's a reminder that endings aren't failures. They're transformations. Day doesn't fail when it becomes night. It succeeds. It completes. And then it rests, trusting that morning will come. Trust that for yourself. Rest. Let go. Transform. Settle. Settle into the golden hour, into the soft light, into the peace of transition. From light into darkness. From wake into sleep. Natural. Beautiful. Right. As the light fades, animals begin to seek their sleeping places. Watch them prepare for night, and soon we'll discover something you might not expect. Something about darkness that humans forgot. A truth that will change how you think about night itself. But first, watch the animals find their rest. The deer you saw this morning, or another deer like her, moves toward a thicket, somewhere with dense undergrowth, somewhere she can rest with some protection around her. She doesn't have a permanent bed. Deer sleep in different places each night, safety through unpredictability. But she chooses carefully, evaluating, testing, then settling. Watch her settle. She doesn't flop down like a tired dog. She folds herself. Front legs first, bending at the knee, then lowering her chest to the ground, then carefully folding her back legs beneath her. The whole process takes 10 seconds maybe. Deliberate, controlled, graceful. Once settled, she tucks her legs close to her body, conserving heat, nose pointed slightly upward, ears still swiveling, still listening. Even in rest, still aware, but allowing herself this vulnerability, this need for sleep. Deer sleep is different from human sleep. They sleep in short bursts, 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there. Between these bursts, they wake up, check their surroundings, listen, look, evaluate safety, then sleep again. Biologists call this polyphasic sleep. Many phases. It's how many prey animals sleep, never fully letting down their guard, never completely vulnerable. It's exhausting to imagine, but it works for deer. It's kept them alive for millions of years. High in a tree, a squirrel has already found its nest. Squirrels build nests called drays. They look like messy balls of leaves and twigs wedged into tree forks. From outside, they seem haphazard, but inside, they're lined with soft materials, moss, shredded bark, fur if the squirrel can find it. The squirrel curls up inside, nose to tail, a furry circle. Its body temperature drops slightly. Heart rate slows. The squirrel enters torpor, a state between sleep and hibernation. Energy conservation, survival strategy. The squirrel will wake several times during the night, check on food stores, listen for predators, but mostly it will rest, conserve, sleep. Birds have already found their roosting places. Each species has its preferences. Some birds, like chickadees, roost alone, finding a dense branch, fluffing their feathers for insulation, tucking their heads under their wings. Others, like crows, roost communally. Hundreds or thousands of birds gathering in the same trees night after night. Safety in numbers, shared warmth. Researchers aren't entirely sure why some species roost alone and others together. But both strategies work. Both allow survival. Both allow rest. A small thing to notice: birds sleep on branches. Their feet grip the branch, but they don't have to think about gripping, don't have to maintain muscular tension. When a bird lands on a branch and settles, its weight causes tendons in its legs to automatically tighten its grip. The bird can fully relax, fully sleep, and it won't fall. The grip happens automatically, passively. It's elegant, efficient. The bird can surrender to sleep completely. No part of it has to stay awake to stay safe. Imagine that for yourself. Imagine if you could release effort completely. If staying safe didn't require staying vigilant. If you could truly let go, knowing that something in the structure of things would hold you. The forest holds its creatures. The branch holds the bird. Something holds you too, maybe. Not physically, but the universe that made you. The pattern of existence that includes you. You can release into that, could be. Trust it. Let yourself be held. The bird doesn't question whether the branch will hold. It trusts, sleeps, survives. You can trust too, perhaps. Insects are settling into bark crevices, under logs, into the leaf litter, each finding its own hiding place, its own refuge. The forest offers countless small spaces, countless tiny sanctuaries, enough for everyone who needs them. Nobody is turned away. The forest doesn't judge who deserves rest. It simply provides, offers, holds. Even the trees rest in their way. Photosynthesis slows as light fades. The chemical factories in the leaves power down. Not completely, but significantly. The tree enters its own quiet time, its own night mode, still alive, still aware, in whatever way trees are aware, but resting, conserving, being rather than doing. It's a reminder that rest is universal. Every living thing needs it, requires it, depends on it, from deer to trees to you. Rest isn't weakness. It's wisdom. It's survival. It's life maintaining itself. Allow yourself what you'd allow any other creature. The right to rest, the need to sleep, the wisdom to stop and settle and close your eyes. Day is ending naturally. You can too. Let the animals teach you. Watch them find their places, their safety, their rest, and then find yours. The sun is touching the horizon now. You can't see it through the trees, but you can feel its position, can see its effects. The light in the forest has gone from gold to orange, from orange to amber, from amber to rose, colors shifting like a very slow kaleidoscope. Beautiful, fleeting, soon to be gone. The sky above the canopy, if you could see it, is putting on a show. Reds, oranges, purples, pinks. The colors of sunset are caused by scattering. As sunlight passes through more atmosphere at this low angle, blue light scatters away. What remains is the longer wavelengths, red, orange, the warm colors. And somehow, the human brain interprets these colors as beautiful, as meaningful. Sunsets have inspired art and poetry and music for as long as humans have been able to create. This response is deep, evolutionary, likely, but it's also real, genuine. The beauty you feel watching a sunset isn't fake. It's a real response to a real phenomenon. Honor it. The rose-colored light filters through the canopy and touches everything. The moss glows. The bark of trees looks almost red. Even the air seems colored, tinted, as if you're seeing the world through rose-colored glasses, which, in a way, you are. The light itself is colored, painting everything it touches with warmth, with the day's last gift. But the warmth is fading. The air temperature drops more noticeably now. You can feel it on your skin. That jacket you needed earlier is needed now. The forest is cooling. Heat radiates up from the earth and plants, escaping into the darkening sky. Without the sun to replace it, the temperature falls. It might drop 10 degrees between sunset and full dark. 15, maybe. The forest is entering night. This temperature drop triggers changes. Flowers that opened in warm daylight begin to close. protecting their pollen and nectar from night moisture. Each species has its own timing, its own trigger temperature. But the pattern is common. Closing, conserving, protecting, waiting for morning to open again. Cold-blooded creatures, insects and reptiles and amphibians slow down as temperature drops. Their metabolism is tied to external temperature. Colder means slower, sluggish, eventually, still. The beetle that was crawling across bark an hour ago has found a crevice, has tucked itself in, has stopped moving. It will wait out the cold, patient, persistent, alive but dormant. Some creatures benefit from the cooling. Slugs and snails, which dry out in daytime heat, emerge now. They glide across the forest floor on trails of mucus, eating, rasping leaves with their radula. They have all night to feed, to move, to do the work of being slugs. Dawn will send them back into hiding. But for now, the cooling forest is their time. The sound of the forest changes as temperature drops. The air becomes denser, heavier with moisture. Dew is beginning to form. Sound travels differently through this thickening air. It's hard to describe exactly, but the forest sounds more muffled, more intimate, closer, as if the world is shrinking, drawing in around you, creating a smaller, safer space. This is cozy, if you let it be. The cooling air, the failing light, the quiet settling, the sense of the world becoming smaller, more manageable, more contained. You're being tucked in, not by a person, by the forest itself, by the natural cycle of day ending, by temperature falling and light fading and all the small adjustments that accompany the transition from day to night. Your own body temperature will drop as you sleep. Did you know that? Core body temperature follows a circadian rhythm. It's highest in late afternoon, lowest in the early morning hours, around 4 or 5 a.m. The drop in temperature is part of what triggers sleep, part of what maintains it. Your body cooling down signals your brain. It's time to rest, time to let go, time to release consciousness and drift into sleep. You can work with this. Let the cooling forest mirror your cooling body. Let the external temperature drop reflect your internal shift towards sleep. Synchronize. The forest is doing what your body wants to do. Follow its example. Cool. Settle. Rest. The last light fades from the canopy. The sky above is deep blue now, not quite black, but heading that way. Stars are beginning to appear. Just the brightest ones at first. Venus, likely. Jupiter, the first magnitude stars. More will follow as darkness deepens. But for now, just these pioneers, these early arrivals, announcing that night has come. Day is over. Rest begins. Thank you, day. Thank you for your light. Thank you for your warmth. We release you now. We let you go. We turn toward night, toward darkness, toward sleep, with gratitude, with peace, with readiness to rest. Settle. Settle into the dusk, into the cooling, into the soft transition from light into dark, from wake into sleep. Natural as breathing, inevitable as sunset. Right. So right. Somewhere in the darkening forest, an owl opens its eyes. It's been sleeping all day, tucked close to a tree trunk on a high branch, motionless, nearly invisible, its feathers perfectly camouflaged against bark. But now, as darkness arrives, the owl wakes, stretches, ruffles its feathers, prepares for the night shift. While you settle into sleep, the owl settles into work. But what strange work? What quiet work? The owl is a master of silence. This might be a great horned owl, large, powerful, 2 tufts of feathers on its head that look like horns but aren't. They're just feathers. Display. Communication. The owl's actual ears are hidden under feathers on the sides of its head. And those ears are remarkable. Asymmetrical. One ear is higher than the other. This asymmetry allows the owl to pinpoint sound in 3 dimensions. It can hear a mouse moving under snow, can calculate exactly where the sound is coming from, can strike in complete darkness and catch prey it never saw, only heard. The owl's eyes are enormous, fixed in their sockets. The owl can't move its eyes like you can. To look to the side, it has to turn its whole head, and it can. Owls can rotate their heads about 270 degrees, nearly all the way around. This seems impossible, but special adaptations in the neck make it work. Extra vertebrae, blood vessels that can expand and contract, pooling systems that store blood. The owl can turn its head almost completely around without cutting off blood flow to its brain. Evolution solving problems in unexpected ways. Those huge eyes gather light. The owl sees well in conditions that would leave you blind, but it doesn't see in color. Not really. It sees in shades of gray. Movement, shape, contrast. The owl doesn't need color. It needs light-gathering power, and it has that in abundance. Each eye is so large that there's no room in the skull for them to move. They take up space that in other animals would be brain space. The owl has made a trade. Less brain space for more visual processing. It works. The owl survives, hunts, lives. The owl launches from its perch. Flight is nearly silent. Most birds make sound when they fly. The air rushing over their wings creates turbulence. That turbulence creates noise. But owl feathers have special adaptations: serrated leading edges, soft velvety surfaces, fringed trailing edges. These modifications break up turbulence, reduce noise. The owl flies in near total silence. Its prey doesn't hear death approaching, just feels it. Too late. This silence isn't cruelty, it's efficiency. The owl isn't evil. It's not good either. It's simply an owl, doing what owls do. What owls have done for millions of years: hunting, eating, surviving, feeding its young, if it has any. The mouse the owl catches doesn't suffer long. The owl's talons are precise, strong. Death is quick. Kinder, could be, than slow starvation, than disease, than the many other ways a mouse might die. The forest isn't sentimental, but it's not cruel either. It simply is. Life feeding on life, energy transferring from one form to another, the endless cycle. The owl calls out, a deep hoot. Hoo 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 hoo. The sound carries across the dark forest. If you were awake, you might find it eerie, but also beautiful, ancient, the sound of wilderness, of night, of things older than human civilization. The owl has been calling like this for longer than we've been human. Before language, before fire, before tools. The owl was already here, already hunting, already calling, already perfect. Other owls might answer, or not. The owl doesn't seem concerned. It calls occasionally as it hunts, claiming territory, announcing presence, communicating with its mate, could be. The owl has its own life, its own concerns, its own relationships and struggles and victories, all happening in the darkness while you sleep. The forest continues its work, its cycles, its patterns. Whether you notice or not, the owl's presence is oddly comforting if you think about it. Something is awake while you sleep. Something is alert while you rest. The world doesn't stop when you close your eyes. The forest continues. The owl hunts. The night shift takes over from the day shift. Life persists. You're allowed to rest because other things continue. Other consciousnesses maintain vigilance. You don't have to stay awake. The owl has the watch. The forest is alert. You're safe to sleep, to release, to let go completely. The night shift has begun. Your shift is over. Rest now. The owl will hunt. The night will continue. Morning will come. But for now you can sleep. Thank you, owl. Thank you for keeping watch. Thank you for reminding us that night has its own life, its own beauty, its own perfect functioning. We rest in you. We trust the darkness. We close our eyes. Full darkness now. The transition is complete. Day has become night. The forest is transformed, not hostile, not frightening, simply different. Night adapted, operating under different rules, different rhythms. Human eyes struggle in this darkness. You can see almost nothing. Shapes, maybe. Suggestions, but no detail, no color, no clarity. This feels vulnerable at first. Frightening could be. We're diurnal creatures, day adapted. Night challenges us, makes us uneasy. Ancient fears surface, predators in darkness, unknown threats, danger unseen. But consider this, for most animals in the forest, darkness isn't dangerous, it's safety. The rabbit that spent all day hiding from hawks can finally emerge, move, feed, live. The hawk is sleeping now, can't hunt in darkness. The rabbit is safe. Darkness protects. For the rabbit, darkness is relief, release, permission to exist without fear. The mouse that hid from the owl all night. Well, okay. The mouse is still vulnerable. The owl hunts in darkness. But the daytime hunters, hawks and eagles and other raptors, they're sleeping. The mouse's odds are better at night than day. Different dangers, but not worse. Just different. For plants, darkness is essential. They can't photosynthesize at night. True. But they can do other things. Repair damage, redistribute resources, grow. Some processes work better in the cool of night. Some chemical reactions require darkness. The plant uses night productively. Night isn't absence of day. It's its own thing, its own time, its own opportunity. For you too, darkness can be safety. In darkness, you can't see your phone, can't read email, can't check notifications, can't scroll endlessly through news and social media and all the things that activate your mind and prevent rest. Darkness removes those options, forces rest, forces disconnection. And in that forced disconnection, connection of a different kind becomes possible. Maybe. Connection to your body, to your breath, to the simple fact of existence, to the darkness itself. Darkness is also equality. In full darkness, rich and poor look the same, beautiful and plain, young and old, successful and struggling. Darkness strips away surface differences. What remains is simply living things, breathing, existing, equal in the dark. There's something democratic about night, something leveling. Everyone sleeps, everyone dreams, everyone vulnerable, everyone held. The darkness in the forest is particularly complete. No streetlights, no car headlights, no lit windows, just starlight if the sky is clear, and the faint glow of bioluminescent fungi if you know where to look. Some mushrooms glow in the dark. Scientists still debate why. What purpose does it serve? Could be it attracts insects that spread spores. Could be it's just a chemical accident. Either way, it's beautiful. tiny constellations on the forest floor, mirroring the stars above, light in darkness, hope in night. Your brain produces melatonin in darkness. This hormone makes you sleepy. It's triggered by absence of light. Your eyes contain special cells that detect light levels. When light fades, these cells signal your brain. Your brain signals your pineal gland. The pineal gland releases melatonin. The melatonin floods your system, making you drowsy, preparing you for sleep. This is ancient. This system evolved long before electric lights, before candles, before fire even. Your brain is responding to darkness the way it's responded for millions of years, preparing for rest. Darkness isn't your enemy. It's your signal. Time to sleep. Time to let go. Time to trust the night. In some traditions, darkness is sacred, the void from which all things emerge, the mystery that holds creation, the unknown that makes discovery possible. Without darkness, you couldn't see stars, couldn't appreciate light, couldn't experience the profound rest that comes from releasing control, from admitting you can't see everything, don't know everything, don't need to. Darkness teaches surrender, teaches trust, teaches faith that morning will come even though you can't see it yet. Rest in this darkness, not fearfully, not reluctantly, but willingly, gratefully. The forest is dark. The night is here. And that's exactly right. That's exactly what should be happening. Your ancestors slept in darkness like this for hundreds of thousands of years. Your genes, remember, your body knows what to do. Let the darkness hold you. Let it remove the burden of seeing, of doing, of being awake. Release into it. Trust it. The darkness is not absence. It's presence. The presence of night. The presence of rest. The presence of the possibility of dreams. Settle. Settle into it. Let it hold you. One sleepy soul at a time. Held by darkness. Safe in night. Even in the deepest darkness, some things glow. If you could walk through this forest at night, carefully, quietly, you might see them. Foxfire, ghost fungus, honey mushrooms, different species, all with the same remarkable trait. They produce light. Not much light, not enough to read by, but enough to see. A soft green glow. Eerie, beautiful, mysterious. Biologists call this bioluminescence. Bio meaning life, luminescence meaning light. Light produced by living things. The chemistry is complex. It involves luciferin and luciferase, special molecules with lyrical names, chemical compounds working together, substrates and enzymes, an oxidation reaction that releases energy as light instead of heat. But the result is simple. The mushroom glows. Why? Scientists aren't completely certain. The theories vary. Could be the light attracts insects that help spread spores. Could be it's a byproduct of metabolism. Could be it serves no purpose at all. Just a chemical accident that persists because it doesn't hurt the fungus. Nature is full of such accidents. Features that exist not because they're useful, but because they're not harmful. The glow is gentle, soft, nothing like electric light or even candlelight. It's more like the light of dying embers, or the faintest stars, or the edge of dawn before true light arrives. It's subtle. You could walk past it without noticing if you weren't looking. But if you stop, if you kneel down, if you let your eyes adjust to the darkness, if you really look, then you see it. Small points of light in the darkness, mushrooms glowing on a rotting log, threads of mycelium glowing in bark, tiny beacons in the night. There's something profound in this. that even in the darkest places, light persists. Not bright light, not overwhelming light, just small light, patient light, enduring light. The mushroom doesn't try to banish night. It simply glows, offers what it has, which is enough. Even in darkness, small lights persist. The mushroom glows. Your breath continues. Your heart beats. Small lights, persistent, real. That's enough. Fireflies glow too, in their season. Different chemistry than mushrooms, different purpose. Fireflies glow to communicate, to find mates. Each species has its own pattern, its own rhythm. Flash, flash, flash. Pause. Flash, flash. Pause. The pattern identifies the species. Males fly and flash. Females watch from grass or bushes. When a female sees her species pattern, she flashes back. A conversation in light, a courtship, a connection made in darkness. Beautiful, efficient, ancient. Fireflies have been flashing like this for 100 million years, perhaps. Since the Cretaceous, since dinosaurs. The pattern works, persists, continues. Some deep-sea creatures glow too, in the abyssal depths where no sunlight reaches, where darkness is absolute and permanent, where pressure would crush you instantly. Even there, things glow. Anglerfish with their glowing lures, jellyfish pulsing with light, bacteria coating fish like living constellations. The deep ocean is full of light. Small lights, beautiful lights. Lights that prove darkness is never total, never final. Life finds ways to glow, even in the deepest places, even in the hardest conditions, even when it seems impossible. Light persists, life persists, hope persists. The glowing mushrooms will fade before morning. Their light is temporary, seasonal, but that doesn't diminish it. Temporary light is still light. Brief glow is still glow. Nothing lasts forever. Not darkness, not light, not joy, not sorrow, not wakefulness, not sleep. Everything flows, everything changes, everything transforms. The mushroom glows tonight. Tomorrow night, it might not. But tonight is enough. This moment is enough. This soft green glow in the darkness is enough. Let it be enough. Let this moment be enough. Rest. The forest sleeps now. Remember the deer from this morning? The birds from dawn chorus? The squirrel that scolded? Most things rest now. Most things sleep. The forest has settled into the deep quiet of night, the collective exhale of a million living things releasing into darkness. The trees sleep in their way. Their leaves have closed their stomata, the tiny pores that exchange gases. Transpiration has slowed. The sap that rose all day is still. The tree rests, not unconscious. Trees don't have consciousness like you do, but dormant, conserving, being rather than doing. The tree has been standing all day, all year, all decade, all century. It's allowed this rest, this quieting, this night. The deer you watched this morning is sleeping now, curled in her thicket. Dreaming, could be. Research shows that many mammals dream. Their brains show the same patterns during sleep that human brains show. REM sleep, rapid eye movement, the stage where dreams happen. What does a deer dream about? Running through meadows? Finding tender grass? Escaping predators? Or things we can't imagine? Dreams that make sense only to deer? You'll never know. But she dreams, processes her day, her brain filing memories, consolidating learning, doing the work that only happens in sleep. The birds sleep too, perched on branches, heads tucked, hearts slowed. They'll wake before you do, before dawn, before first light. They'll sing the world awake, but for now, they rest. They trust the branch to hold them, trust the night to pass, Trust the morning to come. They don't lie awake worrying. Don't catastrophize. Don't replay the day's failures. They simply sleep. Restoration happens. Energy rebuilds. Tomorrow becomes possible. The bird knows this, trusts this, sleeps. Even the insects, most of them, are still, tucked into bark, hidden under logs, folded under leaves, waiting for morning, waiting for warmth, patient, persistent, alive but quiet, not struggling against the night, not fighting the cold, simply waiting, enduring, trusting the cycle. Day will return, warmth will return, activity will become possible again. But for now, stillness, rest, waiting. Underground, the mycorrhizal networks continue their slow work, transferring nutrients, carrying signals, connecting trees in the darkness beneath your feet. This work doesn't require light, doesn't depend on day. The forest's internet operates all the time, constant, reliable, connecting. Even in sleep, even in darkness, the forest remains networked, remains community, remains connected. You're never as alone as you think, even when you sleep, even when you're unconscious. Systems continue, connections persist. You're held, always held, by networks you can't see, by relationships that don't require your conscious attention, by the simple fact of being part of this living world, this breathing planet, this extraordinary experiment called life. The silence of the sleeping forest is not empty. It's full of breathing, full of heartbeats, full of dreams, full of slow growth and patient waiting, and the quiet work of cells dividing and healing and maintaining life. The silence is alive, pregnant with potential, rich with presence. It's not absence of sound. It's the sound of life at rest, life recharging, life preparing for tomorrow, life trusting that tomorrow will come. You can trust that too. Tomorrow will come, morning will arrive, light will return. But right now is night. Now is rest. Now is the time to release, to stop, to sleep. The forest shows you how. Look at the sleeping deer, the roosting birds, the dormant trees. They're not failing. They're not giving up. They're resting, wisely, appropriately, necessarily. Follow their example. Rest, sleep, trust the night, trust the darkness, trust the cycle that has worked for billions of years. Trust that rest leads to restoration, that sleep leads to waking, that night leads to morning. Not through effort, not through struggle, simply through patience, through surrender, through allowing what is to be what is. The forest sleeps. Sleep with it. Rest with it. Be held by it. One sleepy soul at a time. Collective rest. Shared darkness. Universal trust in the cycle. We sleep together. We rest together. We trust together. That morning comes. But for now, we sleep. The night deepens. Hours have passed. You've journeyed from dawn to deep night. From first light to darkness complete, from waking to sleep, or close to sleep, or already sleeping, dreaming of forests and stars and breathing trees. Wherever you are on that spectrum, it's exactly right, exactly where you should be. I am the forest. I've held you through this night, shown you my secrets, my layers, my life. You've walked through my dawn and my day and my dusk and my night. You've met my deer and my birds and my trees and my darkness. And through it all, I've been here, holding you, as I hold all things, as I've held sleeping creatures for millions of years. You're not different, not special, not separate. You're part of this, part of the pattern, part of life, resting in life. Held, always held. Your ancestors slept in forests like me for hundreds of thousands of years. They knew my sounds, my smells, my rhythms. They knew that when darkness came, rest was right. When cold descended, sleep was wisdom. They didn't fight it, didn't resist it. They surrendered to night, to darkness, to the need that all living things share, the need to rest. You carry their genes, their memories could be, deep in your body, deeper than thought. Your body knows me, recognizes me, feels safe in me. Trust that. Trust your body's ancient knowledge. Trust that this feels right because it is right. You've come home, to sleeping under trees, to resting in the wild, to being held by the living world. Welcome home. You're welcome to return anytime. I'm always here, always growing, always breathing, always holding sleeping things. The dawn chorus will sing again tomorrow. The deer will browse again. The trees will make oxygen again. The cycle continues, reliable, predictable, patient. You can trust it, can rest in it, can come back whenever you need. I'll be here, waiting, ready, holding space for you, for everyone, for all things that need rest, that need darkness, that need permission to stop. I give that permission, always, freely, without condition. Rest, sleep, let go. You're safe here, you're held here, you're home. Your body knows when it's ready. Some nights, sleep comes quickly. Other nights, rest comes from simply being here, breathing, listening, held by the forest. There's no wrong way to rest, and if you've already drifted off, if you're sleeping now, your unconscious mind still hears me, still knows you're safe, still feels held. Sleep well, sleep deep. Dream of forests if you want, or dream of anything, or dream nothing. All are perfect, all are right, all are you resting as you need to rest. I'll stay with you. The forest will stay with you, through the whole night, through all the hours of darkness, through the dreams and the deep sleep and the morning that will come. I'm here, constant, patient, holding you. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for trusting me with your rest. Thank you for letting me hold you. It's been an honor, a gift, one sleepy soul at a time. We rest together. We breathe together. We exist together in this moment, this night, this darkness, this peace. The stars are bright above my canopy. The air is cool and clean. The earth beneath you is solid, ancient, reliable. You're supported. You're safe. You're held. From root to crown, from earth to stars, from darkness to dreams, you're held. I am the forest. This is my lullaby for you. Sleep well, dear one. Sleep well in sweet dreams. I'll see you in the morning light, or tomorrow night, whenever you return. I'll be here, growing, breathing, waiting, ready to hold you again, always, forever, one sleepy soul at a time. Rest now, release now, sleep now. The forest has you, the night has you, the darkness has you, and that's perfect. That's beautiful. That's exactly right. Good night. Sleep well. Sweet dreams. Welcome home to sleeping under trees.